Yes, the boys.
Yes, was that
Finally got there. It took me an hour. I said I wanted to be started by 11 o'clock, but
right.
That's what happens. So appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
I've been looking forward to it. Obviously, I've seen some of your story on certain other podcasts. Yeah. Nigel, we've spoke many a time on social media. And I want this today to be about the collective, you know, the image that you guys hold of your group, the Breath of Life.
Yeah.
How you help other. Obviously, I know you found religion.
Yeah.
Or we're in a restaurant, by the way.
Food smells lovely.
Yeah, but I mean, what I want is for you to tell your message, for you to explain what you guys do, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much for coming.
Do you want to start, Chris?
Right, so I'll start, but you know what I'm like. Yeah, so Breath of Life, what we do is we create safe spaces for Menley. And so we got various spaces.
Just go a bit closer to that.
So we got various spaces that we create. We got one that we've just come from this morning, so we might smell like we're arsonists, but we've actually been to Forest and Fellowship. And that's where we have a Saturday morning where the lads get together. We've got a roaring fire, bacon sandwiches. We've got a few vegan sausages for the lads that don't eat meat, cups of teas, coffee, and just brotherhood, you know, it's just companionship. We go down there and we might share a few stories about the dickheads that we what we used to be,
yeah,
you know. But then we got other spaces like the talking circle. It's a bit deeper in it. Like, do you want to talk about that?
It's the bedrock of what we do, really, isn't it? It's a really powerful group setting. So it's a space where men can come together and share the struggles that they're going through with their daily lives in a confidential, safe space. So we have some ground rules, don't we?
Yeah, the ground rules being, so it's a bit like Fight Club, but there's no fighting that goes on. So
spiritual fighting.
Yeah, whatever you bring to the table, say if we were sat at the table now, whatever you bring to the table, Lee, it stays at that table, you know? We like to say to the lads, there's three things you can do. You can either just sit there and just be comfortable, or you can have a positive share, or you can have a negative share. But what we do say is, say for instance, we had a number of men sat around this table now, and then yourself, Lee, you had a really a lot of positive share, and then it gets round to Nigel. He has a really positive share, but then I've come to the table and I haven't really got that positive thing to share. I've got some darkness I want to get rid of. Don't let the other two people before you influence your share. This is a space where there's no judgment, there's no partiality, there's no resentment. But what it is a living, breathing database of awareness and understanding. Ask the lads to switch their phones off unless they're expecting an important phone call. And then we just generally have a break at 7 o'clock, and it's deeper. One of the things that's amazing about the talking circle is, I think as men, we don't share our feelings enough.
Absolutely.
So if you sit down and I say we've spoke here already and I feel a connection, but like I've told you a few bits and bobs, you know, like deep stuff, automatically you're like, you know, there's a connection because you shared that thingy. But then what we try to do with the spaces is it's relationships and friendships on all different levels. So then the Forest and Fellowship ain't like that, is it? And then what's the one? We've got Plan and Prosper, haven't we?
Plan and Prosper, yeah. It's like an allotment project, isn't it, that we do? Like, so it brings us together on a different level. So the Plant and Prosper project, some of the guys can bring their family and kids with them as well. So what I like about it is it's like gardening's really therapeutic, isn't it? And I relate it to, like, your mind is like a garden. You've got to weed out those bad thoughts and stuff as well. And you can relate that. Planting seeds, watching things grow, as same as your mind as well. You've got to plant those positive thoughts and then positive emotions and feelings and nurture them and let them prosper.
That's nice.
So I think it's good that you introduce family into it as well, because I was quite naive when I came out, when I stopped taking drugs. I thought, now that I'm healing and getting better, my missus will do the same. But inevitably that wasn't the case. She was still struggling with some of the shit that I did.
Yeah.
And it's good to involve family, friends, children, loved
100%.
ones, because we all grow at different stages, different speeds. But I think, well, from my own personal perspective, it was, well, I'm growing, therefore she'll be all right. And that she suffers to this day with my actions, the shit that I did. And, you know, it's all right studying psychology and the brain and all these behaviors and characteristics of humans. But inevitably, if the woman that I love is still suffering, then she has to be alongside me on the journey.
Yeah,
you know, it's the same with-
you're on this journey of life together, isn't
exactly.
it?
So I think that's really good, because in some of the recovery programs, I've never been in a recovery program, but I know a lot of people that have, and there's help for the person struggling with addiction, but a lot of the time their family, friends, children are left to deal and live with their actions alone.
Yeah.
And that in itself is trauma, you know?
Absolutely, 100%. I can relate to that massively myself through my own journey as well. Like the amount of damage that I've caused to my own family through my own recovery and stuff is the effect it has on your family is massive. So yeah, they need that support and stuff as well. And when you're growing and changing as well, it has a ripple effect on your family.
Yeah.
Through the bad stuff, that has a ripple effect, and when you change to be a better person as well, that has a ripple effect as well. So
the thing is, though, you're taking accountability, aren't you? You're taking action. I always say the first two things we need to do when we've been through addiction or a difficult stage in life is honesty and accountability.
Yeah, honesty is a big one.
Because without those two, you have nothing. My missus uses the analogy of being with me when I was in addiction was like looking at a clock face on a wall.
Yeah.
And the clock says 2:00, but it's lying to you.
Yeah.
And that's how she described me in addiction.
Yeah.
I'd always, on surface level, I'd be
I get what
the
you're
man
saying.
that she wants to be, but underneath I was lying. I was being something
healed
completely-
underneath.
Yeah.
See, I think that what you just said then about honesty and accountability, how we look at them at Breath of Life is ingredients, life ingredients. So then two of the big ingredients that we use alongside those would be truth and forgiveness.
Yeah.
So first of all, foremost, we have to be truthful with ourselves, which then leads to us being accountable as well. If we've been a knobhead, then be truthful about it. If you made some bad choices and actions, own it, be truthful about it.
Yeah.
That then opens the door for you to be truthful with other people. But then the forgiveness thing as well, you know, we have to forgive ourselves for the shit that we've done to be able to forgive other people. So I can't say too much about what goes on at Talking Circle, Lee.
No,
Because like obviously it stays at
Of
Talking
course,
Circle, but with it being men, you can imagine some of the shares have been about abuse and stuff that's happened when you've been kids. So then there is like, how do you explain forgiveness to that person? So then how we try to get it across is, we're not forgiving them because we want to sit down and have Sunday dinner and a cup of tea with them. We're forgiving them because we don't want them to have no power in our head no more. And there is some bad shit that people have to forgive people for. But those two things, truth and forgiveness, they can set you free if you allow them to, you know?
I think for me, I use the word forgiveness in a different way, because stuff happened to me. I think you've probably seen some of the stuff. And I had a really difficult time with my mum growing up. She was extremely violent, but I love her. She's my mother, and I'm trying to build relationships. Forgiveness is never about, forgiveness isn't an external process. Forgiveness is internal. Saying the words, I forgive you, to somebody doesn't matter. It's the process that goes on within you.
Okay.
So for me, it was about forgiving my teenage version of me, forgiving the child version of me, forgiving the adult version of me who's hurt people. But by forgiving those three different, I'll call them archetypes of me, that allows me to then look upon other people like my mother and go, do you know what? I'm going to try and build this relationship, because inevitably it's not about anybody else. The process is all about you. Do you know what I mean? If you're hurting because you've hurt someone, that's on you to fix.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
100%.
it's like my missus says a lot of the time, apologies are nothing without action and accountability.
Yes.
We've all three of us have done it. Callum's probably done it as well. I've said sorry thousands and thousands of times and never meant it.
Yeah.
Not
100%.
once did I mean it.
Decades of it, probably.
Yeah. So what does words mean unless there's an emotion or a process attached to it?
Yeah.
Like now, if I say sorry for something, I fucking mean it.
Yeah.
But the process after the words is then right. I've got to be accountable. I've got to be better, work harder, smarter. And it's the same with forgiveness. You can say the words, but unless the process is there after it, that's the key. That's the jewel, right?
Yeah, so could we sort of put it like, I'm asking you because you're like a bank of knowledge here. So is that like the same as saying, so forgiveness can just be a thought if you don't put no action to it. But then if you put the action to it, you get the direction, which is forgiveness. So then what we like to say is, it starts off with a thought. That thought leads to an action, and that action leads to the direction. That direction can be life, or that direction could be strife, depending on the thought, depending on the action, and depending on the direction, if that makes sense. So it's a similar type of thing, you know? So it just boils down to that thought comes from you, that action comes from ourselves, and that direction is where our 2 feet lead us. So
I'll ask you both a question.
Go on then, brother. Here we go.
What's the difference between a thought and a belief?
So I'd say a thought is what it is, a thought, until you put action to it, and then you get the belief at the end of it.
So that process you described, my answer is the same, but a quicker answer.
Okay.
The difference between a thought and a belief is emotional attachment.
Okay.
That's it. You don't know it's raining until you feel the cold or the wet on your skin.
Right, yeah.
You just think it's raining.
Yeah.
So the difference between somebody thinking that they love themselves and actually knowing, believing that they love themselves is emotion. And emotions carry messengers. That's what I always say. Emotions are the messengers of who you are as a person. People use the word trigger. I disagree with the word trigger. I don't believe there is such thing.
Okay.
It's your emotional attachment.
Yeah. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it is. People, I sold some on my Facebook page. I had a load of alcohol in the house because I don't drink. I was giving it away. Now, because I run a podcast talking about addiction and recovery, a few people seen their ass. You shouldn't be giving away alcohol, but hold on, I've got family and friends on my page, over 1,000 people from this town that I know who'd like a drink.
Yeah.
And inevitably, it went to a lady who was dealing with cancer for a charity raffle.
Okay.
I give it all, there's about 200 quid's worth. The people were saying, you're going to trigger people. Well, if that's the case, they'll be triggered every time they walk into Asda, every time they walk. It's the meaning and value you give to something that people say is the trigger. Anything could be a trigger. You could say a word to me now that got said to me when I was a kid. You're triggering me. No, I'm giving that word meaning and value.
Power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, power.
And it's exactly the same with thoughts and beliefs. You give the meaning, the power, the action, the thought process, which in turn creates a belief.
Right, so I'm enjoying this chat already. So then, Nigel, you know this as well. So if we say, let the words that leave your mouth give life and not death, it runs in time with what you're saying there. Because the words that leave your mouth can either give life or not death on how, what you're saying is what you attach them words to. But this is the same as what we say. And that's why it's called the breath of life. Because what creates some words, it's the breath that creates some words. And it's up to us as people. We can let our words give life or we can let them give death, you know? And life's a better option.
So I spoke to you about NLP a few times, something that I learned. Sounds very scientific, but it's not. Neuro-linguistical programming, it's called.
Right.
But basically what it is, it's the language of the brain. So the brain doesn't understand negative language. So don't think of a pink elephant.
Okay.
You think of a pink elephant.
Because don't is a negative action. It's a negative sort of start of the process. So the brain interprets it as, think of a pink elephant, don't. So it's a positive, think of a pink elephant. It's the same with, I am an addict and I always will be. The brain doesn't know what that means. So when I used to say to people I was in addiction, their question would be, what was it? So that's what the brain does. The brain goes, what does addiction mean? Right, let's dig into it a little bit more. Right, cocaine addict. That's what the brain understands. The brain understands the word I was a cocaine addict. Doesn't understand the word I'm an addiction and I'll always be an addict. Doesn't understand that.
Okay.
Because it's a general statement. Brain doesn't understand generalizations. So it's similar with that. That statement gives action to whatever you do. Do you know what I mean? And it does. It really does. Like, and it's.
I understand, bro.
Yeah. People sometimes get triggered when I say those words. That's not me being nasty. That's me saying to people, you are powerful beyond belief. Beyond belief. Yeah. And we all have limiting beliefs. All of us. I've got limiting beliefs. Every single one.
And once you realise that, you start challenging your beliefs when you start recognising the thought processes that.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said to you outside before, when our beliefs are challenged, we close in to what we know. The brain and body wants to feel safe. The nervous system, the way we were brought up, you'll probably find yourselves now, I do, when I'm in certain environments. Let's take confrontation, for instance. I will react the way I've always reacted.
Yeah.
That there is a learned behavior, the same as drugs are, the same as anger is, the same as fighting. These are things that we learn. Society teaches us from when we are fucking, well, in my term, when I was this big. You know, we learn these things from children, from our parents, from our friends, from loved ones. All of those, though, are limiting beliefs. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. People say, oh, if somebody kicks off on me, I'll punch their fucking head in. Well, that's a learned behavior. Yeah. You can also walk away if you want. It's down to us as individuals. We have the ability to choose whatever we want to be.
So how do you go about deconstructing those learned behaviours?
By deconstructing them.
Just tear them to pieces and just realise that there's nothing in it.
I think, first of all, it comes from awareness. You need to recognise them, them beliefs and those behaviours. Once you've got that awareness, you can then put the work in.
Yeah.
And deconstruct it, like you said, educate yourself.
Okay.
And
one of the best words you can say to somebody is why.
Yeah. We get told that. Well, one of our facilitators, actually, Phil Kalita, he's always asking why.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Why?
So like, what's an example? So in NLP, it talks about generalizations. As people, we generalize, we mind read. That person hates me. They've always hated me. Yeah. Why? How do you know that? Do you know that? Have you ever asked them? No, I just get this feeling that they fucking hate me. Well, that's projection. That's your own insecurities as a person. It's called mind reading, where you think or speak like you know what another person's reading. Like I said to you before, you're nervous. I don't know that. I'm putting words into your mind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, you may well be, but you could have gone, no, I'm not nervous. What are you talking about, Lee? And then that's me projected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we do, is we do it all day, every day. People say we don't judge. We judge ourselves more than any other person in the world. But then through self-judgment, we then project. We create this perception of what life is, right? Whether that's good or bad, through our own limited beliefs. Example, we go on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I had a really bad experience with one when I was a kid. For an example, I didn't. But we're all sat next to each other. We will experience that roller coaster in 3 different ways. You'll experience it through happiness. You might be fear. I might be absolutely shitting myself. There are 3 different perceptions of the same moment in time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Therefore, that creates 3 different realities. Your reality is different to mine. Mine's different to yours.
Yeah.
So we have one world. There's only one world, but there's 8 billion different realities, because we all interpret information differently.
Okay.
But by interpreting information, we can then project more positive things, like you guys are doing. You've been through some bad stuff, but now you're doing better, and that's what it's about.
And that's what it's literally through. People go on, so the big buzzword at the moment is lived experience.
Right.
But we like to take it one step further to living experience, because lived experience is like past tense, like you've been through something and you got over it and you've lived through it. But what happens if you've got lads that are still struggling with whatever might be going on in their heart, their mind, in their person, and then they're still being able to be a part of a company, a brotherhood, you know what I mean, a fellowship, whatever words you want to put on it, but be a part of that and still be able to give back. That's better than lived experience. They're actually living through it and still able to give back. Just like living experience. Everyone's, lived experience. It needs to be co-production. Everyone needs to be, and all that type of stuff. No. Lived experience, that's yesterday. They're saying it's past tense. It's living experience. Nigel's living experience. He goes through his bits and bobs. I go through my bits and bobs. But then we still manage to be able to come together as, you know, I'm a Christian fella, so there's going to be a lot of like godly stuff that comes out there, yeah? But one body. We come together as one body. If Nigel's struggling, I'm struggling too. If he's got something going on, I've got it going on. If he's shining, I want to feel that shine as well. We move as one body, you know. So yeah, that's what we get up to. We're living experience. It's not a lived experience.
When we sit down at a talking circle, let's say I bring what's weighing me down. Could be somebody new into the group.
Yeah.
And by me sharing what I'm living through at that moment, it encourages them to know that whatever they're going through, they can share it as well. So what they might be able to connect. I might say something, and they're like, "Hold on a minute, yeah, that's quite relative to what I'm going through right now." So that's an example of how the living experience helps.
I've seen it happen at a table, haven't we? We've been at a table.
Try and keep them a bit closer.
We've seen it happen at a table where you think it might only be like 10 people at the talk, not only, but there's 10 men at the talking circle this night, and you think, I wonder what it's going to be like tonight. Am I going to go back thinking, how can I help this, or I'm going to be that? And then everyone will sit down, and there'll be a lad there that you think isn't going to share, and then when he does share, it's something it's just powerful shit, yeah. And the next thing you know, the energy will go from that person to that person. We'll need Nigel. Nigel might be sat there thinking, I can't share nothing tonight. Because of what you've just shared, it's empowered him to be able to share. Next thing he's like, yeah, I've got to share. And then boom, for the darkness. Because what we say, I'm going to try not to talk too much, yeah. What we say is, I believe with mental health, and this is just a personal opinion, my take on it. There's only one way to get rid of any darkness in your heart or in your mind, and it's by talking. When you get rid of that darkness, what does it allow a space for? The light. Where does the light come in? The breath of life, through lived experience, living experience, through awareness, through understanding. So when we get rid of that bit of darkness that we've been carrying around on our backs, in our minds, and our hearts, it makes a space for the light. We've got to put the right type of light in, where there's no judgment, no partiality, all that type of stuff, and instill hope, faith, belief, and amongst it all, you know, us as men, we don't tell each other enough. Nigel, on the way up today, we're coming up to see you on the motorway. I love you, bro. You know what I mean? I looked at him and said, I love you, bro. He looked at me and said, I love you too, baby. It fucking means it, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know what I mean, if I'm having a bad day, Nigel come up to me, same we are with all brothers, it's not just us, it's how we are. You know, come on, give me a hug, man. What's going on, man? Get a little rib shot. If it's that type, if he's not that type of lad, you don't get a rib shot. One of the lads, do you know what I mean? If he's not, just get, what's going on? It's what it's about. It's okay not to be okay. You know?
Connection, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, two things. Have you ever seen the film Coach Carter?
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
With Samuel L. Jackson, but he's a basketball coach.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this a few times, and he says to one of the guys, he's a gangbanger. He keeps saying to him, what's your deepest fear, son? And he's like, fuck's he going on about here? He says, what's your deepest fear? Tell me. And he can't answer him. And then at the end of the film, I don't know the full quote, but he says to him, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's not the darkness, but the light that inspires other people to unconsciously.
I got goosebumps.
And me. It's not our darkness, but our light that inspires other people to unconsciously do the same, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Light finds light, brother.
And dark finds dark.
Don't mean to be all of that around the table.
What you just said there about the only way to heal is through talking. You mentioned something after it, and this is what I'll say to you: you carry it on your back. So trauma, talking helps, right? Talking's one of the most powerful things we can do as people. Okay. But trauma is held physically in the body.
All right.
It's a physical thing.
All right.
So when I'm nervous or anxious, that's why I have these.
Clocked in.
So I get tremors in my hand.
Yeah.
That's a physical thing.
Yeah.
that is a fight or flight response to trauma that I've had in my life.
I get tremors, my hands shake, I get bad guts.
Yeah. So gut feeling, there's gut feeling not positive or negative. It's always a negative. I've got a gut feeling something bad's going to happen. That's a physical thing. And that is learned through bad experiences, whether it be, whatever it be, abuse, whatever. I won't go into that, but so trauma is a physical thing. And there's a book, and if you like reading sound, if you don't, you can do it on an audio book. It's called The Body Keeps the Score by a psychologist called Bessel van der Kolk. That book, I read that or listened to it in February this year. One of the biggest impacts on my journey so far, because what it told me was that when you're feeling whatever you're feeling, even if it's negative, feel it out. You can talk, but you've got to feel it. You've got to operate from that emotional level. So like you guys do, when you're speaking, and I'd imagine there's some difficult conversations, fucking feel that shit, man. Get together, as you do, the more the better, and feel it out.
Okay.
But there's something called codependency. If your happiness depends on his happiness, that's quite a dangerous place to live. You're both quite strong-minded people, so it's all love, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, let's say 12-step programs, and they'll say, I need to go to a meeting or I'm going to relapse.
Okay.
That there is codependency.
If
you miss the meeting, you're telling yourself, if I don't go to that meeting, I'm going to go and drink and take drugs. That's a very, very dangerous place to live.
Yeah.
So when you are helping each other and feeling it all out, just make sure it's from a place of love, not dependency. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want.
Because we come up to see you today and we are automatically gelled straight away because I think we're in the same that give back mission and all the rest of it. Where did your passion come from to want to be getting up to what you're getting up to?
Pain sees pain.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I spent most of my life living, I call it hedonism, living life for the masses, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
You know, I had a nice house. I'd go on holiday and go out on the weekend, take drugs with the lads, treat people like shit because you think it's cool. But it was only until sort of 3 years ago when I just broke as a human being and I thought, fuck this. Well, a bit longer, 4 years ago nearly. Yeah. When I thought, fuck this, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And I tried to end my own life. I never believed in fate or your book is already written. And I never believed I didn't think I was a spiritual person. I thought religion and spirituality were almost the same thing. I like religion. I've never been a religious person, but I like reading about religion and history and stuff. Then I met my missus. My missus is the kindest, caring, most loving person I've ever met in my life. We can all compare. She's had a tough life. But for me to lie and manipulate and for her to just show me love every time, I'd never experienced love from that level. I'd always push love away. Soon as she was coming and saying, look, I love you, I want to be here with you, my boundaries and my walls and all this anger and pain and suffering was just falling brick by brick. And in the end, it was like, I've got nothing else to fight. I've got to stop fighting and learn to accept love.
Surrender.
And that's what I did. I learned to accept love. And by doing that, I have, honestly, if you see me now compared to the person I was last year. Okay. I mean, Callum see me at my worst, man, when
Callum's a good geezer himself, to be honest.
He's a dude, like,
he's a geezer.
But he see me at my worst when I'd be living in squalor, you know, empty cans everywhere, drugs everywhere. Now I'm studying the brain and fucking body and
Giving
identity.
Back in a massive way, bro.
I think there's a lot of people in this world who are suffering more than what we think, and it makes me emotional talking about it. There's a lot of people in this world who suffer on a daily basis, and they think it's normal, and they think that this is the way I'm always going to live my life, and it's fucking not. And it's by people like us doing what we're doing, and there's a lot more people.
Yes.
allow them to let their light shine and be
People about purpose and
the person that you fucking want to be the person that you're destined to be. Destiny is stripped away by society and stripped away by fucking governments and rules and laws, and don't get me, bad choices. You look on the news, man, it's fucking negative all the time.
Where's the 60 seconds of good news?
Where's the love? Where's the love? It's always children being blown up and it's horrible stuff.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
What about the love that people are doing in the world? What about the nice things that people are doing? You don't see none of it.
Because like people, we was talking about this on the way up, aren't we, Nigel, about like how we used to be and how people seem to always remember that. But then as soon as you start getting up to good stuff, they're like, they don't want to mention that. They just want to keep going back to, reverting back to old, yeah. Oh, we used to do the character assassination, basically. You all used to do that. Do you remember that? Yeah, well, yeah, we do, but, you know, we're not them people no more. And now what we're trying to do now is take the shit stuff that's happened in our lives and everybody else's lives, shit stuff, I'll call a sorrow, yeah? And then how do you turn that sorrow into a joy? So then, because that's what it says in scripture, because I know I am the God man, yeah? So, yeah, so it says, I will turn your sorrows into joy. So then we're like, we've all got our fair share of bloody sorrows, probably got rucksacks on our back, yeah? And probably some stats in the wardrobe as well as sorrows.
Trauma backpack.
Yeah, trauma backpack. So thank you, that's a good one, trauma backpack. So then with that, how are we meant to turn that into joy? Well, it's sort of like, if you can help other people not to make those same decisions that you made that led to that sorrow, or you can just be a part of the process of maybe thinking twice about making a decision that's going to bring sorrow to their lives, or be a part of the conversation that brings awareness about it, that's obviously bringing joy to their lives. Because there's a chance that they might not become that person that you did and might not make that decision that you do. And now do we do that through ownership, don't we?
Ownership and sharing it and like going back to accountability.
Yeah.
When you share at the table and you get stuff off your chest and other people can see the change and the difference in you, that shines a light to them and they can follow that light as well.
Like I said to you, when you're speaking or you're speaking in your circles, people who've never been there before will feel emotion.
Yeah.
Sometimes emotion that they've probably not felt since they were children. But like I said before, emotions carry a message, and that message could be, they're speaking. Why don't you ever go?
When I first joined Breath of Life, I found it quite intimidating what they were doing. So I was invited along by one of the founder members, Barry.
Barry Hill.
He's a great lad.
Great geezer.
And I'd been on my own journey before Breath of Life. I'd been through depression, anxiety. I'd been medicated for it. And I went down a path of educating myself through reading books, like Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, and
talking about lobsters.
Yeah, lobsters. Brilliant, absolutely. When I picked up that book, and my missus was like, "How's that book?" And I was like, "Do you know what? It's fucking amazing. Some of the philosophy in there, I'd never come across any of it, but it just all made sense." And I decided to ditch the medication and started reading Eckhart Tolle after Jordan Peterson. Read all of his books, and then I started going to meditation classes and stuff. And then I bumped into Barry. Me and Barry had a bit of a dark past together. We kind of fell out and stuff. And he was like, "Come and get involved with Breath of Life." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to go to sit down at a table with a load of other men and start talking about my past and stuff. I can't think of anything worse. Like, life's about moving forwards." Like, at that point, I'd cut everybody off from my past, and I was kind of like a lone wolf, shall we say?
Yeah.
And but what I didn't realize was that I needed that social side of things as well. So I started going to Forest and Fellowship on a Saturday morning with these guys, just to put the feelers out and see.
It's a little bit softer introduction than talking circles sometimes.
Yeah. I was like, "Nah," and come talking circle first. I was like, "Nah, I've got nothing to talk about, mate. Everything's fine and dandy." Like,
easy as.
Everything's fine, mate. I've got nothing to talk about. I went there, I sat down at a table. I was like, I haven't really got anything to share, but this happened, that happened. And absolutely fucking broke down. I didn't realize how much shit I was carrying on my back, and it needed to come out. Even though I've been through different therapies, I've been through therapy for grief, for abuse when I was a child, for cocaine addiction, etc., etc. And yeah, it was really powerful, but it was just so good to release it and unpack that backpack and just share it in a. I'd never felt safe sat with a bunch of guys before sharing. Before that, I was sharing stuff at the wrong tables. Do you know what I mean? I was sharing stuff with the wrong people, probably too much oversharing, and then it's getting turned around and used against you.
Blackmail folder, character assassination, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
What does safety look like to you now?
The right people around me, safety. I can be vulnerable now with the right people around me and share my emotions. It's okay to share. It is good to talk.
Have you ever done any of the childhood work?
Yeah. I have. Yeah,
I know I've spoke about it. I've not done it, but I've definitely.
It can be as simple as when you think of safety. Just something as simple as what would, the little Nigel, the little Boothie.
Yeah.
How would he feel now looking at me? It could be something as simple as that. That shit's powerful.
He feels safe.
I did a 12, just before I joined the Breath of Life, I'd finished a 12-week intensive counselling session for some shit that I went through when I was a kid. And we went back to my childhood trauma and stuff and dealt with that. There was at times when I didn't want to carry on with it, but I had to. I knew that I had to do that internal work with myself. We did a few sessions of going back and sitting there face to face with the younger version of myself, and sitting down and telling the younger version of myself it's okay. Yeah, it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is powerful, and I think that's for guys like us that have been through so much stuff in our lives. You've got to do that work. It's okay to say that you're all about mental health and stuff. If you're not doing that inner work on yourself, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass at some point in your life.
And you know what?
It really is.
It's so I sometimes I can speak about things that, like we were saying before, cerebral cortex and all that bollocks.
All the lingo. And you know about it, though. That's the thing.
But the thing is, you have to do the work. But the word it's okay not to be okay, right? I still have shit days.
I have terrible days.
Fucking
days, mate. Really
but it's
bad.
okay. And
yeah, it is.
So what John, my mentor, said to me, when you feel emotional, most of the stuff we've ever done wrong in life is when we're acting from emotion, right? Anger, even happiness. When I was happy, I'd use drugs. Yeah. Sadness, I'd use drugs. Happiness, I'd use drugs. Because that was the only way I knew how to regulate myself. My reward. So if you think of it, cue, craving, response, reward.
Okay.
Right? Whatever the cue, and the cue is, it's sunny outside. Cocaine.
I haven't had none for a few days.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunny outside, beer garden.
Yeah.
Next thing.
Yeah.
Or
the cue would be, I've had a row with my missus. Right, fucking, I'm going. Cue, craving, response, reward.
I'm already in the shit anyway.
But whenever we act from emotion, a lot of the time we'll get it wrong. A lot of the time we'll make the wrong choice.
Response when you're emotional is usually the wrong response. You've got to sit with it and feel it first. And take your time to feel it, and then once you felt the emotion, then afterwards you've got the awareness of the emotion. Okay, I felt angry then, or whatever it was. You can then make a more educated response to it and think about it. If you don't feel it, it's going to be the wrong choice. Like 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the wrong choice.
Sometimes. Oh, sorry, Nigel.
No, carry on.
Just in line what you're saying there, I like how you got to feel it, you've got to own it, you got to do all that. Sometimes finding peace is not a peaceful process. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can't I'll go from from how I was living my life. So the addicts and all the lies, all the deceit, all the thieving, all the victims, all the false promises, all the time I said I was going to get clean, all that type of stuff. All the time I was taking the drugs, all the time I was going out there committing the crime to get the drugs. It wasn't a peaceful process. So if I wake up on a Monday morning, say, we just call it Monday, think, right, I've had enough of all that, don't expect it to be peaceful on Tuesday. So then I've got to go through all that stuff. So sometimes to find peace, it's an unpeaceful process. But if you go through that unpeaceful part, there is peace at the end of it. So basically, if you sift out the darkness and attack the darkness with truth, with awareness, with honesty, all the things that we spoke about, then you can get to that peace at the end. But the thing what happens with us as men, I feel, is as soon as we come up to some hardships with that ownership, oh, fucking hell, I can't handle that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. No, man. This is what you have to do to heal.
Yeah.
But then if you surround yourselves with other people that are telling you this is part of the process, you know, like what we do with Breath for Life, like what we do, surround ourselves with them people, it makes the whole journey a lot easier. So it's still unpeaceful, but not as unpeaceful because you've got people there that understand, you know.
The treasure you seek is in the cave that you do not wish to enter.
There you go, Lee.
The dragon's den.
Yeah. So there's a samurai, Miyamoto Musashi, his name was.
Okay, yeah.
If you ever watch Joe Rogan, hopefully, yeah. Joe Rogan's samurai tattoo is Miyamoto Musashi.
Okay.
And he's a 14th century undefeated samurai.
Right.
He had like 80 fights and never lost. But he was also a poet, a gardener, a philosopher, a storyteller, an artist. And what he in his book's called the Book of Five Rings, I think it's called. And he talks about whenever you're feeling emotional, lean in. So the treasure you seek is in the cave that you do not wish to enter. So whenever something's difficult, walk in that motherfucker.
Walk through the fire, basically.
Don't run away from your fears, do you? You've got to turn and face them head on.
Yeah, man.
Be bold, be courageous.
Like you said, it's not peaceful. It's not easy to do that at all.
Mate,
that's anything that's worth doing in life is difficult.
It's one of
the easiest things is they ain't worth doing. You got to do the hard things to get to the healing process and get through it.
I genuinely think it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, my whole life.
And me. My story is pretty similar to yours, Lee. Like, I watched your Talking Tradesman podcast the other night.
Great podcast.
I could relate so much of your story to my own life. Me and my wife were sat there like, fucking Alice. He's been watching my life here. Honestly, it's so similar. But when I came out of addiction, my wife gave me the ultimatum, like your missus did to you. It was like, choose this life. This is the path you're on. It's me and the kids, or it's this life that you're living right now. And I chose my family. I chose love. I chose life. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was fucking hard. It wasn't easy at all. And I had to, all my life through the addiction, I'd just been running away from all the crap, all the chaos from when I was a youth, when I was growing up, all the loss, the abuse, everything else. And it was through going through into the dragon's den and facing everything head on that I was able to get to where I am now. That's where the power is in the healing. I had to do the therapy for the cocaine addiction. I had to stop using that. It wasn't straightforward.
Oh no.
There was times when I picked back up again, and then the guilt and the shame after. You stumble, you pick yourself up, punish yourself worse than anyone else can ever punish you. I punish myself more than what my missus would punish me, and she'd punish me. Believe me, she didn't let anything go, and she was the most powerful force in my life, like yourself. So, with the therapy of the abuse and things from when I was a kid, like if I didn't unpack that and face it all again and relive it head on, I wouldn't be where I am now today. And I think everybody needs to do that to be able to heal. They really
Absolutely.
do.
I couldn't agree more.
See,
So
exactly,
you've got to face it head on.
see exactly everything that Nigel just said then, right? So then what we've done at Breath of Life is we're creating spaces where what he's just said becomes a complete and utter power.
Mm.
Because when you can sit down and you've got that awareness and you've got that understanding and you feel comfortable because of the people, the community that you've created. We'll go back to the no judgment, no partiality. It's not about dictatorships. It's about relationships, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about, there's no dictatorships. It's pure relationships on all different levels. That's when your healing becomes other people's healing. And that's a massive part of what we're doing, you know, because there's no, I say give back, get back, you know. If you giving back, you're getting back. You know,
Yeah,
the
no, I
biggest way to get rid of something is to fucking get as much as possible out of it. A bad situation, take as much good out of that, but as much as you can out of that bad situation, and then try and make it into a good one. How do you make a chaos and carnage into a good situation if it's happening in your life? Raise awareness, raise understanding, you know, raise that up through truth and ownership. Everybody's posting on social media. They got the best bloody trainers. They got the best car and this restaurant and that restaurant. Where's the bloody bits and bobs about when you're struggling? You know, we're not women, but where's the pictures of you waking up when you ain't got a full face of makeup on it? If we was, you know, that's the only way I can put it in. And that's where the power is. And then it opens the door for other people to, that's how people think that society is. You know, just like us as men, Lee, we've been brought up for generations and generations to have a cup of tea, have a bit of fresh air, and everything's going to be all right. No, that was our great granddads and our granddads before. The superpower nowadays is your thoughts and your feelings and how you go about having some sort of process to be able to get an awareness and an understanding about that. And if it's down as us, for men, you know, if you've got an awareness and understanding, to pass that on to a fellow man if he's struggling. Not to just go, oh, fucking thingy Joe blogs at the end of it. Oh, he's lost his head again. Oh, he's struggling again. What about going and finding out why he's struggling? You know, and then you might be able to be a part of the process. You know, because then what that boils down to, I'm going to go on one now. What that boils on to then is the judgment thing. If we walk round judging people all the time, yeah. You go to work, you might judge someone because they got a different hair. They might have a certain smell. They might be a certain body type. They might listen to a certain music. They might have a different complexion to you, yeah. But we're judging them. Well, when you judge someone, you can't get anything from them. Yeah, drop the judgment. What happens if that one person that you're going to work, you're walking past the street with the bloody green hair and dresses a bit different or looks a bit different or the rest of it? What happens if you drop the judgment and somehow, why are you having to get into a conversation with that person and that person's got the 2 or 3 or 4 sentence that day that's going to help you out that day? Drop the judgment. You can't receive nothing from no one when there's judgment there.
Again, judgment is an internal projection of your own insecurity.
Okay.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
I used to judge every fucker. And I've said
I've been there as well.
I used to say it a lot on the podcast. I was waiting for the postman to walk down my fucking driveway with a check and go, "They are, Lee, that's for everything that you've been through and all the shit that you've done. They are, mate. Well done. Well done." That's never happening. Accountability.
Yeah.
I'd look at somebody and I'd say, "He's in better shape than me, you fucking prick." Why? Why am I saying those things? That's an insecurity.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my issue because I'm not happy with the way that I look or feel. That's my issue. Nothing to do with him. He might be a dead nice lad.
Yeah, exactly.
But because he's in shape, I'd go, he's a bellend.
One bit of judgment there.
We're all guilty of that.
Yeah, there's a fella driving a Lamborghini. He's a prick.
Yeah.
For all I know, he could be a multimillionaire that's ready to kill himself. Yeah. Because he's dealing with the stress of business. Do you know what I mean? But I look at his car and go, fuck it. Show off. You know what I mean? You do, don't you? We do it. Or I could look at a lad with a woman and go, fucking hell, you know, as lads, how's he got her?
Yeah,
that is so shallow and so low. It's unbelievable. But it's all through insecurity and inadequacy because we're not happy with ourselves. Therefore, we project onto others.
So our pain becomes other people's.
Yeah. I had a gentleman I won't go into much detail of his name in case there's anybody locally who watches this. But he commented in one of my videos on Facebook and he said, "You were spoiled as a kid. I knew your family. You were spoiled as a kid. You don't know nothing about mental health. I know more than you'll ever know." Old school fella in his 50s.
Okay.
At first, I felt angry. I thought, you don't know nothing. You only know surface level, my family. But then, as the more I thought about it, I felt sad because there is people in life who think like that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's obviously been through some stuff, but for him to project and what's the word? Compare my life to his life. He knows more about his mental health than I'll ever know. Doesn't know more about mine.
No.
Same way I'll never know more about yours or yours. And that's where connection is key.
It's key, yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But yeah, that pissed me off a little bit at first. But the more I sat there and thought about it,
you revert back to the old you, don't you?
When I was, I can relate to that as well. When I was on my own healing journey, like somebody decided to give my granddad a tablet, and he went on Facebook. And I was sharing like positive affirmations. I had my own granddad jumping on my post, writing really snidey, horrible comments. Like, yeah, and it was like, wow, Jesus, granddad, come on. And
Jesus.
Yeah, and love him to bits. Like, God bless him. He's gone now. Like, but I took it really personally. Like, I was like, and on reflection after it, he was just projecting onto me his own insecurities, his own failings in his own life, the way that he treated family and everything else. That's all it was.
Beliefs, right?
So, but cause he did it to my kids as well. Like, and I cut him off for a while. Like, I cut him off. I was like, I'm not having that. Not bearing any fruit in my life. I'll cut you off like that. And then, he was a lonely old man living on his own. So I went back down there, like, and give him a hug. He wouldn't say anything to my face. Like, he was just a little old man, keyboard warrior on Facebook. Like, but people do project. Like.
Screams loneliness, though.
Yeah,
that's
what it was. I went down, reconnected with him, and then literally 2 months after he passed away, like, and I was just so glad afterwards that I got that chance to go down there and spend time with him in his garden, tidy his garden up, and
it's funny because
connect with him.
Me and Callum have had this conversation. Our grandfather passed away. Was it last 2 months ago? Callum was a lot closer. Callum was a lot closer. My mum and dad split up when I was a baby. And again, they'd fight like fuck all the time. And I was sort of used as a pawn or a tool in this. You won't see him anymore. Then my dad wouldn't bother. So you grow up with this belief system that, oh, this person doesn't love me. Like I said before, right? My dad doesn't love me, therefore the family don't love me. And you sort of ingrain this deep system within you that is a load of bollocks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like I was speaking to Cal's mum and me auntie, obviously, and we said, isn't it a shame now that I got to see him for some reason? Well, he was poorly, but about 2 weeks before it happened, I went to his house. And we sat down and he was like, because he was a stubborn bastard. And he said, you were my favourite, you. Do you know what I mean? But instantly I'm like, fucking hell, I've missed about 15, 20 years here for a belief that was never true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's something that I've got to rectify and learn from and be a better human from myself. And it's just little things like that where you don't, it's that old cliche saying, is you don't realise what you got till it's gone type thing. But at the same time, it's difficult to change a belief system, whatever that may be, that you've lived with for your whole life.
It is, You do some things through your own perception then, aren't you?
Tinted glasses, aren't they?
That's it. That is exactly what life is. We're all wearing our own glasses.
Yeah.
We all see the world
through your own lens,
Yeah. But, it's like, and the thing is, life is stressful. Life's hard. Life's fast. There's nothing slow about life. We have to slow it down. Otherwise, the world puts you on this fucking Ferris wheel and you just...
All I want to say is live fast, die young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it's,
And they're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just got to try and be present as much as you can, can't you, in the moment?
Do you know what? And I think that's the hardest thing to
It
do.
is.
Be present.
I never understood it. My missus always used to say to me when I was in the throes of addiction that you're not present. You're here, but you're not present.
My missus said
Yeah,
the same.
you're in the same room as the kids, me and the kids, but you're not here. You're somewhere else. So.
See, I've learned. Sorry to interrupt, mate.
No,
Carry
on. No, it's fine.
So I've learned. Obviously, anxiety is the fear of a future that it doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Depression.
Yeah.
Is like we said before. You're ruminating. Your central nervous system has created this version of the past.
Mm-hmm.
But a powerful thing that I was told was your brain's a liar. Your brain lies to you. So don't get me wrong. We've all been we've all been through some tough shit in life. But I'll guarantee, even my story that I tell about myself isn't 100% fact.
It's not. It's your perception of how you experienced
and
it
how you felt.
Yeah.
So your thoughts and your feelings.
Yeah.
That's what builds that's your perception, your lens.
Exactly.
So if you I went through stuff like yourself, and like my perception of stuff that might not be right. I've come to accept my version of it is how I felt, and that's what I've brought forwards with me.
Well, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
Because feelings
And
are
you
only
still
ever
feel
present.
them, don't you? Yeah.
Feelings can't be from the past. If you think about something you experienced now as a kid, you're feeling it now in your body.
Yeah, it's that emotional.
Do you know what I mean?
Back to that emotional attachment that you're carrying.
I put a clip out saying, people say you can't change the past. You fucking can.
Yeah, you can.
Because you can change the emotional association to the past.
Yeah. And do you know how I related to that one when I seen that? Because I seen that clip. I actually seen that this morning when I was waiting to get down to Forest and Fellowship. So it's on the same like ballpark as that. So spent a lot of time in the system, but we won't speak about that.
Yeah.
So then a lot of music to me reminds me of being in jail. Certain songs at certain years, I can say, yeah, that was 1990. Yeah, I was here, I was in this jail, or I was down the block then. So, but then what I've had to start doing now, and what I've done with a lot of that music is, because now I've been like a free member for nearly 4 years, is when the music comes up, I associate it with what's going on at the time. So for instance, there's stuff when we're all together, stuff when I'm with the missus, stuff when I've had my earphones on, I'm out with a dog. So instead of me being in a 6x9 cell in a pair of boxes in the middle of summer because it's red hot in a prison cell, I changed that now when I hear that song, and I'll be out with my dog because it's in my ears and it's summertime and I'm out with my dog. So I'm associating, it's the same thing but trying to switch it up. Is that the same thing as what you're saying?
Do you know what, mate? That's so powerful to do. There was exactly what you're saying there. There was a lady when we done that public speaking event the other week in Wrexham, and she was saying she was dealing with lack of self-worth. So I said to her, whose voice is it in your head? Because lack of self-worth is the voice of somebody else, never you.
Okay.
It'll be the voice of your parents. It'll be the voice of a bully. It'll be the voice of somebody from your past. So she was like, what do you mean? I said, whose voice is it? She said, how do you know that? I said, I've been through it myself. And she said, it's my mum and dad.
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, so when you're thinking, when you're listening or hearing the words in your head of what they're saying, what does it describe it? And she said, well, it's them two stood in front of me, having a conversation, telling me that I'm nothing, telling me that I'm not worth anything.
Oh, shit.
I said, okay, how would it feel if you turned their voices into Mickey and Minnie Mouse's voice?
I like it.
And she done exactly what you did.
It's not laughing.
And she went, oh, she's like perked up.
Yeah.
I said, how would it feel if your dad was dressed as a clown?
Go on then.
What you're doing, like you do, you smile.
My dad actually was a clown. In circus.
Yeah.
It's a different story. Yeah, yeah. See what? We're from circus stuff. Yeah. They were,
That's
man.
cool.
Yeah, they were. They tell you after.
Yeah.
We're circus stock is like, yeah.
But what she's doing there is she's attaching a different emotion to the memory. It's literally called remapping and reframing.
Mum.
So every time, obviously that's down for her to do. I can't do that for her. But every time she then thinks of their voices, turn it into fucking Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, switch it up.
Make your dad wear a clown mask. Get your mum fucking going around the room on rollerblades. Do you know what I mean?
Like it.
The mind is so powerful. It's not easy to do.
So Oh, gonna have to bring some scriptures to the table because it's about mind. So it says in James, it says we're at war with what we can't see and not what we can see. So I bring this to the not like it's not like a flag thing or anything, a pretty breath of life, but it makes sense because if we're at war with what we can't see and what we can see, so in scripture it means the prince of principalities, so that's the devil, yeah. But we can't see our thoughts and our feelings, Lee. And that's what a lot of us are at war with on a day-to-day basis. So it's already there in scripture, letting you know we're at war what we can't see rather than what we can. You know, same way, same thing with, what we can see and how we're feeling. There's another bit in James, it says, be careful. When you wake up in the morning, Callum will do it, you'll do it, Nigel do it, I'll do it. And we'll be in the mirror saying, it's going to be a fucking good day today. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to make sure that I have a better day than yesterday. I'm going to change this. I'm going to stop smoking drugs. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to start treating my girlfriend a bit better. I'm going to start being a good dad. All that type of stuff, yeah? As soon as you turn around, why do we forget about the person that we just spoke to in the mirror? It says it in scripture because you know what happens when you turn around? That's when the other side, because I'm a Christian fella, that's what the other side of the Lord, the devil comes and gets you there and they bring doubt to your table. They bring chaos and carnage and make you believe that you are not able to do that. So there is so much scripture. People, the Bible's the same. It's the same letters for everyone, but it's how you read it and what you relate it to, so that's what people go on a bit, don't they, about, Brotherhood's a Christian, they put that word out there, Christian cult and all that type of stuff. But listen, 50 members that we've got in there, 50 members that on a daily basis get to touch base, they get to everyone, make sure that everyone's all right. There's what, 10-15% of Christians? Well, I'm telling you now, Lee, them 10-15% Christians shine onto the group.
So what if you were all Christians?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I've got
a bit of
it's been said. It has been said by. I'm not going to say who by, but we're a Christian cult. And it's just like my answer to that is we live in a Christian culture. Christian society, or the foundations of our society are built on Christian beliefs, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with wisdom and love and light and hope and faith.
No. Hey, man,
that's everything that's missing in the world. It is. There's not enough love, light, and hope and faith in the world today at all.
Thank you.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Yes, some people that come to the group, and I was myself when I came to the group. I believed myself to be an atheist all of my life.
Good work.
So after a couple of weeks coming to Breath of Life, I got invited to go and support Chris and two other guys to be baptized.
Yeah.
As I thought, didn't think anything of it. And I walked into this church. I thought, they're going to be singing all old hymns and stuff. And they weren't. They were singing like these modern new age, like country folk.
None of the high school bangers.
No, none of the high school bangers. New school bangers. I was like, what is this? And then I got this overwhelming feeling of emotion listening to their that they were powerful testimonies. And it was like, I started crying. I didn't even know these guys. And then I was like, why am I so fucking emotional? Like, what is this within me?
Love.
Yes, brother.
I want to explore this a bit more. So they started talking about this alpha course that they do at the church, which is for anybody to come and sit down and discuss your opinion of Christianity and challenge your beliefs and stuff as well. So me and my wife and my daughter both went along to that. And at the end of it, me and my daughter ended up being baptized.
Yeah.
And since I've been following Jesus, I've just found this overwhelming sense of peace that I've been searching for many years. Many years. I went down a path of meditation and like Buddhism, spirituality before searching. And it's led me to where I am today with my faith with Jesus. And it's thanks to
I
these
can't
guys.
say nothing.
A lot of people say
they're
a cult, they're going to brainwash you. And I haven't. It's been my own discovery path, which I was already on. And Yeah.
And it's one more thing, right? It's one more thing, and then
His face is going fucking purple.
It's like, yeah. All right, I'll give myself a hard time. Right,
What time is it first?
Right, so we got 1:15.
Yeah,
1:15. Right, so just one thing. So someone said to me, "When Chris, what happens if you get to the end and you're just in a dark room? There's no God, there's no Jesus, and all that type of stuff." And I thought, oh, yeah, well, fair enough, yeah. I said, but what happens if me believing that there has helped me to live a better life? So what happens if I get to that dark room that you're on about, which I don't think there is? I believe that there's a better place, and, people leave you a breath and a beat when they go, and all that type of stuff, rather than the scattering of ashes is nice, it's beautiful, I've done it myself, and being in the ground, don't like that. I like the idea that they're up there and somewhere else, that's my faith, that's my belief. But if I get to the end and believe in that, and I am in a dark room, and I lived a better life believing that there is. So then, even I'm still a winner, so I'm still going to be a bit of light in a dark room. Amen.
When
Yeah.
when I first started my recovery journey, I don't even say I'm in recovery no more. I say I'm in discovery.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like that.
Just a more positive word.
I like that. You've helped me out with loads of words. You have. You've helped us out loads.
So I listen to the 12-step programs. I listen to the smart recovery programs. I listen to people who've been in detox centers, visited psychologists, all sorts. But what I was trying to do, I was trying to find my way. None of them felt my way.
Yeah.
But then when I found my way, I thought my way was the best and only way.
Yeah.
As we all do.
Yeah.
And over the few months of speaking, like I've spoken to my mentor a lot. So my mentor's been a Muslim, a Buddhist, Christian.
Gone through it.
Oh, he just loves studying, loves knowledge. Clever man.
That's
clever
a good
man.
way to be.
And we're talking scripture.
Go on.
The concept of New Jerusalem.
All right.
Right? So New Jerusalem is, I don't know it word for word, I'm not clever enough. But in religion, it talks of New Jerusalem being a square that comes down from the heavens, I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
But you can access it from any side. You can access New Jerusalem from any side you want. Doesn't matter how you get into New Jerusalem, as long as you get into New Jerusalem.
You're on that journey.
And this is what he said to me. Doesn't matter whether
goosebumps all over my body.
it doesn't matter whether you've done a 12-step program. As long as you work the 12-step program and the 12-step program doesn't work you, there's a difference. Doesn't matter whether you've done smart recovery. Doesn't matter whether you went to a rehab center or a detox unit, or found religion, or found spirituality, or found purpose, or studied. Like a lot of work I do now is around identity, purpose, values, beliefs, skills, environment. And that's what NLP is, language. Doesn't matter how you get into that square, as long as you get into that square. And we're all different, we're all individuals, and we all got our own internal processes. And that is where I learned to stop judging. Because I fucking did judge. He said, like we said before, right? I judge people. Why is he always? It pissed me off. I'd get angry. Don't call yourself this. Don't. Who am I to judge anyone? I'm not that person. I haven't been through their processes, and that just allowed me to be a little bit softer with my words and say things.
I've been guilty of it myself. I've been really judgmental against other people that have done wrong against me, and then I've judged them, and then all that does is breed hate within you. That just gives no room for love and light.
There was a guy, I was speaking to a lad on WhatsApp, and he said, I've just been speaking to this lad, and he doesn't believe in mental health, and he said we should all suck it up, and he's a fucking prick. But I said the same thing. I said, well, you don't know what he's been through. You don't know that his granddad or father has brought him up, given him a slap, shut up, get on with it. Who's put his glasses on his head for him? Because I guarantee you it wouldn't have been himself. And I think it's cool the way you've described it, glasses. We all need to take those glasses off and start seeing the world for this beautiful place that it is.
It is.
Mike Tyson's one of my heroes.
How much?
And he speaks of his daughter who passed away. And to experience the beauty and love in life, you've also got to experience pain and darkness, suffering. Because you can't have one without the other. In Buddhism or ancient or Asian faith religion, yin and yang, my Zito Run mask is one side smiling, one side's pain and suffering.
So if you jumped in, that's that whole life.
Exactly.
Yes, Callum.
Exactly. and that's it.
I still occasionally go down to the old, a friend of mine, he delivers a free meditation course to people in our community, and it's all very spiritual and stuff. Occasionally I still go down there. Mitchell Ram, absolutely fantastic guy. He's been on a spiritual journey. I got involved with some of his meditation groups, and it's really powerful. And a bit of a belief system of Christians is that you shouldn't worship false prophets. So like I did have somebody say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that because that doesn't align with Christianity."
Does
meditation
imply that you're worshipping something?
It's quiet.
No,
that's all it is.
It's about being practiced.
You're just inside your own mind.
You're practicing the stillness and presence. Jesus went away from all of his people and went off to pray and meditate.
If you read certain books, Jesus went off to Tibet and things quite like that. When he was
I went last time I went there. I went into the group after hearing that, and I said to my friends that I'm going to take Jesus in the room with me, and I did, and I meditated, and I had the most profound spiritual experience and I saw Jesus whilst I was meditating, and it was truly powerful. So you can take the skills that you've learned from Buddhism and spirituality and meditation and align it with your Christian values. There's no rule book to how you discover your journey with Jesus. And
I'm pretty sure Jesus ain't going to see his ass if you're meditating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know one thing though. That square you just on about. Obviously, in your inside there.
Yeah, New Jerusalem.
Yeah, obviously in your inside there.
And you know what? And I think that there. So we all make mistakes, but from a religious perspective, we're all sinners.
Yeah, 100%.
It's about what we do with life. When again, at the end of most podcasts, I seem to finish and touch on this point: is that people are so focused on titles and trophies. I do it now. I tell people I'm training in psychology and fucking hypnotherapy. None of that fucking matters.
No, it doesn't. No.
From a conversational point of view, it's about connection, love, peace, honesty.
Yeah.
And we forget. I say it, don't miss the trees when you're walking through the woods. Look at every tree is individual. Every tree has certain broken parts of it. They're beautiful in their own right. And that's what we are as human beings. That's what we are. And I just wish and hope everybody else.
Spiritual beings having a human experience is what we are. That's right. I truly believe that's what we are.
But my version of spirituality is living life, a purpose and identity, and that's when you get in touch with your spiritual side. And this is something that I've only started to uncover lately, over the last 12 months, I'd say.
Yeah,
I've always been a spiritual person, I believe, but my identity was stripped away from me through trauma, through addiction, through pain, suffering, and now what I'm doing is
you're a great guy.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, man.
It says in scripture. I know I'm going to go there. It says in scripture, without the spirit, the body will die.
Yeah.
That's what it says. If your body's got no spirit, it's just a body.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if your spirit might come from different, fractions or different philosophies and ideas, but you got to have that spirit inside you.
I always tell people as well, when I talk about my story and my depression and everything, when I was in the depths of my depression, there was always a bit of light there. And that was the spirit.
Yeah.
And that was the spirit. And you've just got to chase after that light, and everything else.
You think of a piece of paper, right? That's the way it got explained to me, and it resonated a lot. You think of an A3 piece of paper.
Yeah.
That is the source, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, whatever.
Yeah.
You snip a tiny piece of that corner off. That's you. Would you identify then as a complete another piece of paper or a part of something bigger?
Yeah. Part of something bigger.
And that's what
we all are.
And that's what I believe. I'm not experiencing life. I believe life is experiencing me. I believe I am part of, and I've only just, again, 6 months I've been thinking like this. I believe that I am the universe. I am you and me. We are everything.
Yeah.
People don't like it. I did a DMT trip a couple of years ago. I did DMT, and it just, when I come out of it, I was crying, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" I feel
told about it. I go to see
some people don't enjoy it, but for me, I tried it. It's not one of the worst things I've done. All that stuff, it's the universe serpent. But when I come out of it, I just felt like, fucking hell, we are one. I am nothing, but I am everything.
People have come out of that and these completely changed their lives.
Yeah. What does the next 12 months hold for you boys?
Well,
Right, so we've got plans for Breath of Life, but this is what I'm going to say about
yeah.
okay.
Plans never come out. where you were.
No, it is hopefully if doors are opening. But I've been sat at a table previously, and I've shared certain stuff, and then it's been made to be like bad ideas, yeah. But then when you leave that table for whatever reasons, I'm not going to get into the politics of it because you know it is what it is. But then when you leave that table, all of a sudden a bad idea becomes a good idea. So what I will say is, Breath of Life is going to carry on with all our safe spaces. Talking circles is going to be a big thing.
That's the fundamental. We're going to carry on doing what we're doing. There is some stuff in the pipeline.
There's some stuff in the pipeline where it involves in us instilling hope, faith, and belief in some dark places and dissolving some chains, man. That's what it's all about. And you're definitely going to get to know about it as soon as we get. As soon as we get there, you know,
definitely.
You're definitely going to know about it. But
I think you might be interested in getting involved with this.
Yeah, I think you will as well.
Talk about
I don't believe in coincidences because I'm that, you know, the cool comment and all that type of stuff. Yeah, God coincidences. You know, you're on your journey. You're absolutely smashing it. I don't know why you ain't traveling around all the mental health groups and mental health group
I'd like to
on the manor, Lee, because like just from talking to you, I'm a talker, but I have also got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Sometimes it's 5 ears and fucking 5 mouths and 1 ear. But just talking to you here, you're just a fountain of knowledge, bro. And you've already helped me and Nigel already with our words, certain stuff. For instance, I always used to say, "Oh, I'm an addict that chooses not to pick up," blah blah blah. Fucking talk to you 10 minutes at the door whilst we're having a vape. I've changed my mind on that one. Do you know what I mean? So your knowledge and it can help other people to be able to help other people. And I believe that's what's happened here today at the table. We've got our own little talking circle going on. I'm going to make a difference, bro, man. That's what it's all about.
Appreciate us.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro. Come here, man.